Welcome to our newest episode of Before the Bloom podcast. And today we have an incredibly special guest. I mean, special guest, Jocelyn Kubis. I've known her for 9 years now. And I wanted to invite her on here because on the podcast, we are talking about, stories that have helped sculpt you, help make you into who you are as a person, and, kind of painting the picture from where you came from to where you are now. And so I say we just jump right into it. And Jocelyn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And do you want to start by just telling us just, I don't know, a little, like a kind of a big overview of, who you are, where you came from? And
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm Jocelyn, right? Grew up very small town, I guess big town in New Jersey, but South Jersey, Vineland. And I had the pleasure and grace of meeting you and Josh when what year was that? 2017,
2017, yeah.
2018? Doing alarm sales in San Diego. It's crazy how the world just brings people together. And since then, I've just, worked in sales. I have my property management company now. And so that's just me.
Yes, and you currently live in Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're so lucky that she's down here in Arizona to, we came down for a bridal shower.
Yes. I will
But
take any excuse to come back to Arizona.
right, because we're trying to get her to move back here. It's like,
Yes. This
we know
is
this is her true home. No,
actually.
but we are so happy to have you down here. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to come on here and chat with me for a little bit. Because I know she was very, very, what am I trying to say? She's very holding back. Okay, Jocelyn is an amazing, amazing human. She, what she's doing right now, she's a successful salesperson with a solar company in Idaho, and also has built and she's sorry. Okay. Jocelyn is underplaying her success. So she is doing amazing things. She lives up in Idaho right now. She is a successful salesperson for a solar company. And then she's also built what do you call it? A property management
Hmm.
company
Yeah.
specific to Airbnbs, short-term rentals. And she's only going to grow things from there. She didn't have the most privileged upbringing, but yet has somehow managed to get herself to a place. She's in an amazing relationship with someone we also know, Dylan, we love and adore. And she's just doing really great things in her life. She's got plans to get a real estate license, and she's going places. This girl is going places. She's already come so far, and she's nowhere near finished. She is definitely going places. And I just wanted to talk to her a little bit today about, what was life growing up like, what was life like growing up in
Hmm.
Jersey, and like, how on earth did you get out west? Like, tell me the story.
It's so funny because I was just talking to my best friend about this the other day because, like you said, I'm just finished my courses, getting my real estate license, and I needed to get my diploma so that way I can give that with like my fingerprints to, get my license and all that. And I was looking, she sent me a picture of like my transcript of like all of my graduating scores and my what GPA, and it was so below. It was like a 2.8. Like I was not committed to anything, let alone school growing up. I think that was like my biggest thing. Like I didn't really care to put the effort into what I was doing all throughout my school years because I think it was like maybe just like the fear of like failure. Like I didn't want to work towards something because I didn't think that I would have any chance of like achieving it anyways. So I just did what I needed to do to like get by. Um, and it's just crazy just thinking about like who I was then and who I am today. And it's like, I don't even know if I could put myself back into that mindset. Like my brain doesn't work like that anymore. Like it's completely rewired. Like if I'm not moving or doing or, creating, I'm like, I told you last night, I'm just like, I feel like I'm in a null. Like I just get like sad. So I constantly have to be like working towards something. And it's just so different from like who I was then. And it was just like like a, a switch, of just like intention. Like I just was not living with intention at all. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I love it that you say living with intention. And I love using that word because, what do you want to create in your life and what do you want to have happen? So many people don't get what they want in life because they literally have no idea. They don't know. They don't know what's available. They don't know, what is actually possible. And until you know what's possible and what you want to accomplish, you don't even know how to create those
Yeah.
intentions, and I know you didn't grow up with a lot of privilege. Tell me a little bit about your like core nuclear family. You've got a couple siblings, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a not really a huge family, but I have my twin sister, my best friend, and then I have an oldest sister, a half sister, her name's Cassandra, and then my older sister Lauren, and then my brother James. And then, mom and dad, mom growing up, best friend, and my dad, I didn't really like start building a relationship with him until I was like 14. But my mom, like, she worked really hard. She was a single mom. She had to take care of four kids. So, like, she wasn't really around that much. So, my older sister really kind of raised me. And then we ended up, getting taken, I don't know, they call it different everywhere. It's like CPS here, DIFUS in New Jersey, but we ended up like getting put into the foster system when we were 13. And I think that was kind of it for me where I was just like, okay, like getting taken from my family, like what is the purpose of anything? Like, and I think that's when I really started just like not caring about anything. But getting into my teenage years, and honestly, I contribute so much of who I am to my big sister because getting into my teenage years, like she was listening to all these like self-help books and reading these self-help books and like a part of like a few like MLMs, like Vima and like selling nutrients and like supplements. And so she used to take me on these what do you call it? Just to these events, like these networking events. And I think one of the biggest, like, first mind shift sets for me was when she took me to this Bob Proctor event. And Bob
Oh
Proctor, like,
yeah.
he's all
He's
about
so
like the
great.
paradigm shift.
Hmm.
And so I went to that networking event and I was like, oh my goodness, like, what am I? I'm wasting myself away. Like, these are my young years. Like, this is where it starts. And so I actually signed up for a network marketing company under my mom's name when I was 16 years old. And I was like, we're going to start today. And it was this like revelation that I had because I could like picture the moment. I was in my sister's boyfriend's house. I was doing the dishes. And in my mind, I was like, something's got to give. Like, I have to change. And that's when I made the decision. And then I was like, you know what? Sign me up. I'm going to start selling Vima. I'm going to sell these supplements. And she's like, you're not old enough. And I'm like, just sign me up under mommy's name. Like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so she
Shoot.
did. And I did that all throughout high school. And I mean, I did like, I'm trying to sell $150 supplements to high school kids. Like, it didn't really work out, but know, but that was like the start of it. And so I was like, okay, definitely can't sell supplements. So I started crocheting. I started crocheting like hats and scarves and was selling that to like the kids in high school. And so, but still, like, for me, it was like focusing more about like at that point and like entrepreneurial things. I still didn't really care about school. Like, I didn't care about like getting good grades. Like, at that point, I was just like, get me out of here so I can like start working. And so I guess that was kind of the progression of it. But anyways,
That's so funny because like I've known you for so long and I'm not sure I've ever even heard that
really? Oh
story
yeah. Oh
about the
yeah.
supplements. Obviously I've known you've always been a hustler from the day I met you when you were like 18 years old. You were just a kid back then. And I have not been back to Jersey. I don't know, my
It's for the
husband has
best.
been.
You're not missing much.
But what I've heard about it, it was, you didn't grow up with a life of privilege.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And so I know that you had gone through a lot. Your siblings had gone through a lot. And, where do you think that drive came? I mean, you kind of explained it, like where the drive came from to
Mhm.
be better, to have more, to accomplish more. And and then that ended up bringing you how did you end up out west?
Well, when I was in high school, like I said, I knew that like the traditional kind of going to college, like that just wasn't really for me. And so the day after I graduated, my brother was selling alarms. And I was just like, now what? Like, I don't want to, if I stay here, I will get sucked into this life cycle and I'll never get out of it. And so, my brother, he was selling in Georgia and he was like, come sell. And I'm like, okay. And so I booked a train ticket to Georgia and started knocking doors like the day after I graduated high school. And I worked a full summer there, made 4 sales, two of them canceled, zero money. Luckily, they gave like a little stipend, so I was able to at least like get some groceries, but really my brother like carried me through that. And so we did that summer. Obviously, it wasn't super successful, but I knew that if it was something that I kept working at, that I would get better at it. I don't know why I thought that. It was just like in my mind, I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes because it's like this or nothing. There was no other option for me. And so I went back home, ended up working at a bread factory in the off season, like where they make Texas toast. And then summer rolled back around and I was like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. Actually, it was almost summer. I'm lying because that's when Diamond Fuentes, if you remember
Yep.
him,
I do remember him.
reached out to James because I think they went to school together. And he was like, hey, I'm actually going to sell for AMP. Like, you should come try it out. And I remember he called me. I was on break at the bread factory. And he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about like working for AMP because their panel has like Bluetooth disarming and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, why would any other company want to hire me? Like, there's no way. Like, I'm not even good at this job. Like, I just want to stick where I'm at. I think we have a good team and I just want to like get good at it. And so we were on the phone for probably like 30 minutes of him trying to convince me. And then the last thing he says is like, well, it's in California. And I'm like, you should have led with that. Let's go. Like
Yep.
California, at that point, I had never been, New Jersey, New York, and then Georgia. I'd never really been outside of that. And so when he said I could go completely on the other side of the US, I was like, genuinely, you should have just said that. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So that's when and I remember I was sitting at home because you had come out for, I think, a Blitz or something.
Yeah.
And I was at home, and Josh was out there with you. And I remember when he called me and he was like, there's this girl that like she's 18, she's a kid, but there is something about her.
He didn't
She,
call you and say
he
that.
did say that, I swear to you. He's like, there's something about she is an amazing kid. Like she's going places. She's just like, I don't know. He just felt this need to kind of take you under his wing and nurture
Mm-hmm.
you. And I was like, really? Okay, that's weird, whatever. But then when I had finally had the opportunity to go out there and meet you, I was like, oh, now I get it. Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, she is special. Jocelyn is very special.
And he really did. Like, I tell you this all the time. Every time I see you, I'll tell you every time I see you for the rest of my life. I do not know where I would be if it wasn't for meeting you guys because
That's so
Josh
sweet.
really did. Like, he took me under his wing. And here's the difference of when I was selling with the first company versus the second company. I was just going out there and regurgitating what they told me to, but there wasn't any like intention behind it. Like I wasn't going out there and thinking like I'm going to do whatever I can to help these people, like these guys make the decision to protect their home and, get the system. I was just going out there and saying what they told me to say and then hope that the process got me there. And so what Josh was really able to break down and really all of the leaders in the office at the time during the correlations of like why we were saying what we were saying and why we
Yes.
were saying them the way that they were saying that we were saying it. And so it was just the intention. I didn't understand the intention. I just showed up, said what I was supposed to do, and I thought that was my job. And eventually I'd do it enough times to where I'd make a couple dollars. But it wasn't until I came out and really realized like what it was about. And it's just building relationships, having intention when you show up to the door and about what you're saying and the relationships that you're building and like every part of it. And so that was when the switch really flipped for me. And then, I went from working 4 months and selling 4 accounts to being out with you guys for
Yeah.
the
And
summer and doing like 68,
oh,
which
so many. I know that watching you grow from like not knowing much about anything business related or sales or anything like that, and how how oh gosh, you were so like open. You were so open to learning, you were open to suggestion, you were open to knowing what you needed to know and trusting the people around you who you knew had your back.
Yeah.
Because so often I see when people are like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I already know that. Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
whatever. But you were never like that. You were never like that. You were always like, tell me what I need to do. I know that I can see you being successful. I will do whatever you say. And that is just such a rare trait, especially for like a young teenager, to just know, like, just have that instinct of, if you see success, copy that.
Yeah.
What are they doing to be successful? I'm gonna copy that.
Yeah.
And knowing which parts to adopt, and who to listen to, who to not necessarily pay close attention to. And I don't know, listen to what your intuition and your gut is telling you. And
Mhm.
you were the master at that, like almost out of the gates, because it was like your relationship skills kind of won over the like the what do you call it, you know the day-to-day instructions,
Mhm.
right? You tapped into learning how to listen to your gut and understand that if you don't connect with the people, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you know or what you
Yeah.
say. You have to connect with those people and be there for them and want what's best for them and to help them.
Yeah.
And I saw that in you, and it was just like, it was awe-inspiring to me. And I was like 40 years old at the time. And I'm like, I am inspired by this 18-year-old kid who just gets it. She just gets that connecting with people is the most important thing. And it was so great to watch. And it was easy. And now I understood why Josh wanted to take you under his wing. And I'm like, girl, oh, you're welcome here anytime. What do you need? We will do anything
Yeah.
for you.
And I think it was like the uncomfortability of it all as well. I think I was scared to get uncomfortable, and that's also what I mean kind of by like intention, because I was just showing up and like going through the motions and not pushing against the grain to progress, the process. It was just like a no was a no, and then I would like keep it going. And so it was really hard to like tap into that pushing against the grain and getting over that hump and that uncomfortability to like bring the process where it needed to be to like break down those walls and build those relationships. And I think that was like the turning point for sure. It's just like realizing that I just need to go out there and like be myself and make friends.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. Because knocking doors is not, I don't know how many of you guys out there have knocked doors, but it is not for the faint of heart. It is not an easy job. It I don't know if there's any other job on the planet that comes with as much face-to-face, just flat out rejection as door-to-door sales. It is a brutal profession. And for especially so many young kids go out there and they get completely discouraged and they're like, if I hear no one more time, I'm just going to
Yeah.
sit on the curb
Yeah.
and just wait for somebody to pick me up, and I'm going to cry and I'm going to
Literally.
look on my phone and I'm just going to check out. But like, you never let that rejection get to you. I love how you said how you realized that you needed to connect with the people, and the more you
Mhm.
connect with people, from a relationship perspective, and like kind of a heart led
Mhm.
um, conversations, the less rejection that you have, the more success that you have.
Yeah.
And that is just so amazing. I mean, there's a lot of adults who can't do
Yeah.
that and who don't understand that. And for you to understand that and to grasp that and to gather all of that knowledge and wisdom as a kid it was amazing to watch.
Well, and here's the crazy thing, like, I needed that rejection. Like, if that was such a huge part of my growth because I'd never put myself out there like that. I never given myself the opportunity to get rejected by anyone or anything. Like, I always played everything safe. I did everything in a very average way. I never put myself out there to try to exceed or excel in any way. And so I think that really the rejection side of sales is really what catapulted me as a person because I was able to realize like how great rejection actually really is in a lot of different aspects of life. Like when it comes like even in like a sales job, like rejection is great because not everyone's going to be your customer. So now you're that much closer to working with the people that you're meant to, right? But also rejection is great for building like a callus, like
Yeah.
of just building character, and being able to take rejection and learn from it or use it as fuel. Like I needed that rejection in my life because at that point, besides the little sales I was trying to do in high school. Like I didn't have resistance in my life, and so that's why I wasn't able to like spring forward in any
Oh
way.
my gosh, I love it. I love it that you're saying all of these things because, a lot of people, they don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to be rejected. They don't want to feel sad or like they don't want to have any level of heartbreak. But like you said, y- there's polarity in all things. That's the
Mhm.
whole life we live in, the whole world we live in. There's opposites in all things. And you can never truly experience the joy or the win or the glory unless you have also experienced the opposite of that, which is the
Yeah.
pain and the rejection and the disappointment. And um and it's just so many people want to get discouraged by the pain and the disappointment
Mhm.
and the heartbreak, and they just want to quit and leave and get away from it as quickly as possible. But the fact that you could embrace those things, knowing that on the flip side of that is all of the success and all of the glory and the joy that you get to experience,
Mhm.
and the friendships that you make by pushing through all of that. It's oh my gosh, it's been 9 years since those first days in Southern California. And I don't know, you've always had this amazing attitude. And I know that that is a huge part of it, just your positive attitude in general. Just it's kind of who you are. And that brings me to another point that, a lot of people, they have a bad attitude or whatever. And, oh, why you have a bad attitude? Oh, well, my circumstances weren't that great, or where I came from. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know where I come from. Like, I'm allowed and I'm justified to have this bad attitude. But, like, even with everything that you had been through and all the difficulties and challenges that you experienced, you, how have you still been able to then and now maintain this positive attitude that
Yeah.
it's not common?
Well, that's why. It's because like my environment growing up, like I've seen depression, I've seen alcoholism, I've seen pain, I've seen death, like just like all people. But I realize how easy it is to be consumed by those things when you feed it.
Yeah.
Because I've just watched, even my mom, my dad, even, a lot of my siblings have struggled a lot in that way where they get into these thoughts that just send them into this downward spiral because they feed those negative emotions and they tell themselves those stories and then you believe them.
Mhm.
And I just have seen what that does, and I never, ever, ever want that to be my reality. So I'm just really intentional with the emotions and the stories that I feed myself and allow myself to believe because it can very, very quickly become my reality. And that terrifies me. And so for me, I don't feel like I have any other option but to look at the bright side of things because I've seen how darkness consumes people. And I just don't want that for me or my life or my family or what I'm building and my businesses. Like, I will steer clear of that at all costs. And it's really not that hard to do when you've seen the other side. But it is, like everyone has their days. And, I'm not perfect. I get my winter blues for sure. But it's just recognizing when I'm in a rut and then doing what I need to do to get myself out of it. Like waking up in the morning, having my notebook, writing my to-do list, checking all the things off. Like that's been a big thing for me was, doing 75 hard and having my critical task list, my 5 things that I'm going to get done no matter what, my non-negotiables. If I complete those things, then I've had a productive day. I've had a win. And so, yeah, it's just where focus goes, energy flows. And I live by that to my core because I've seen both sides of it.
Yeah, that is amazing. You were telling me a story last night about one of your siblings, questioning you, like, how can you be in this place, you know? And you mentioned something to me about acceptance, and it like hit me like on a pretty deep level because it's like, that is the truth. Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, you know, growing up wasn't easy, right? I mean, my mom, like I said, she struggled with depression, alcoholism. She worked 3 jobs when we were kids, and so she wasn't super present. So my sister raised me, and of course, that puts a toll on someone too. And on top of that, going into the foster system and all the other things that, you experience as a kid that I don't know.
Are
But
not great. They're not what
yeah,
every kid hopes and
yeah,
dreams for.
exactly. And so it was never really always the best circumstances. Like we always like hopped around, and after our house burned down when we were 4, like that's my grandmother owned that house, and so fortunately my mom was able to raise us there until we were 6 years old. But after our house burned down, it was like a downward spiral for her. Like we went to church every single day. Or sorry, not every day. No one goes to church every day, but every Sunday. And then Wednesday, the church choir would come over to our house. Like, so my mom was a very different person. But after we lost literally everything, that's when everything seemed to really take a downturn for her when it came to like providing. And so we were always house to house, school to school. And like you said, my sister, and I don't really talk about a lot of these things. Maybe it's kind of, you can see that in the way I'm awkwardly trying to explain these things now. But I don't really talk a lot about a lot about those things, and I don't talk a lot about those things. There we go. Words are hard. And so she's just like, "How? Like, how are you not holding all of this in? How are you not sad or depressed? Or like, how do you feel? Like, how do you not feel like you need to talk about these things?" And it's because like I've accepted everything that's happened in my life and in my childhood. I wouldn't be the person who I am today if it wasn't for all the trials and tribulations and unfortunate things that most kids probably shouldn't have to go through, but do anyways. And I just accepted what happened so that way I could pave a new path forward so I didn't be consumed by being a product of my environment without having control over that.
Right? Oh my
And
gosh.
so, yeah, I don't feel the need to dwell on the past. I don't feel the need to like talk to anyone about the things that I've gone through because I've already internally worked through those things. And I'm like, yeah, that happened for a reason. Because here
Oh
we
my
are.
gosh, you're such an amazing, amazing human. Like, I don't know, you are a unicorn of, I tell you that all the time. You're like a little unicorn of a human, and I adore you so much. And I'm getting emotional hearing these stories because, I didn't have the best childhood either, but like, girl, mine looked like a piece of cake compared to some of the things you went through. And I mean, seriously, mine it's literally seems like nothing after hearing your story. Um, but knowing that, all of those things created you. You are who you are because of everything you've been through. You wouldn't be you had you not been through all of that. And who
Hmm.
you are is such a beautiful spirit, beautiful soul. And anybody who has the privilege of knowing you, like, is a lucky, lucky person.
Oh,
And no, I'm
shucks.
serious. I am serious. And I don't know, I see the light and the energy that you provide to your family and the example that you are to them, and how well not only you have lifted yourself up out of these circumstances, but you're help lifting your family up out of these situations, and these you're help lifting them up out of this as well. And it's just such an incredible thing to watch. I'm not sure I've met many stronger people in my life than you. And
Oh
I
my gosh, stop.
I'm serious. I don't know, I'm so grateful that you are in my life. And I'm just I don't know, always learning from the people around me, and being inspired by those who've overcome a lot and done great things and made the choices. And it doesn't, and I know I've known you for a long time. I know it hasn't been all peaches and cream even since you left home. There've been struggles and challenges that you've been through, but you have handled them with such grace and like perspective, and grown from them and become better from them. And we're all still on that journey of making mistakes and doing dumb things, and but learning and being better from them, and then knowing that we've got it better the next time, and the next
Hmm.
opportunity that comes around is going to even be even better because of everything I've learned. And I know you're only 27 years old, and the future is, I mean, you already have a beautiful life, and it's only getting better. It's only getting better from here. And
Slowly but surely.
right? Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to see where you go. I know she's getting her real estate license, and I swear if I could kidnap her and bring her here, I would, girl, come work in my
It'll
office.
happen. It'll happen. You hear that,
We'll get
Dylan?
you up to
It'll
snowbird
happen.
status where you can sell there, you can sell here, so
Exactly.
that, we can all benefit from your amazing and beautiful energy that you bring to every single thing that you do. I don't know. I love your positivity and just, I don't know, just who you are as a person. It just makes me proud to know you.
Thank you. You're very kind. And I think that's really what it's about because you were talking about like just the evolution and just like evolving and growing. And that's really like what my life and intention is every day. It's just like, what can I do to make my business better? What can I do to make myself better? What can I do to make my relationships better? And like I said, I literally live by this where focus goes, energy flows. And so I just wake up every day. And, some days I have more discipline and motivation than others. But even if just 5 small things that I can do every day to forward some part of my business or life or relationship, it really kind of just keeps you on this forward frequency that's really hard to like interrupt,
Yeah.
you know? And so that's really kind of what it's about for me is just doing my best that I can every day.
Yes, and you've done a great job with surrounding yourself with people who make you better, surrounding yourself with always, somebody who has a hand kind of down to help you, bring you up and help raise you up in life and business and relationships. But you have always paid that forward, and you've always got that hand that's reached out to bring those up who have not quite got it figured out to the level that you have yet. And it's just such an incredible thing to watch, open to learn from those that know more than you, and always there to help boost those up who are not quite where you're at yet. And I don't know. I'm not even sure how to wrap this up. There's so much more to Jocelyn's story. It's not just this, but that's kind of the basics of how she got to where she's at, no matter where she came from. And I just thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I swear, I'm like, this is going to be one of the best episodes ever because you're here. And anyway, I will have you back again, and we can, get more specific about,
Yes.
I don't know, like specific scenarios or
Yes.
whatever about business, life, relationships.
I would
But
love that.
I have thoroughly enjoyed just kind of hearing, the kind of bird's eye view of your story. And I don't know, is anything else you want to share with us before we sign off?
I just appreciate you having me. When you asked me yesterday at the sushi restaurant, I'm like, me? You want little old me on your podcast? I'm like, okay, let's do it. So you are and will forever be such a huge light in my life. So I just appreciate you inviting me here.
Oh my gosh,
I'm happy we got to do this.
Oh, you are the best. Which one ended? That one ended? Okay. So, well, thank you again so much for being willing to come on the podcast. And we've got to get her to her bridal shower. So let's go finish getting that dress steamed and get her on her way. But thanks again for watching our another episode of Before the Bloom. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.